4th scout cube. So here we have Mort fielding a very heavy early game presence as he moves into the sort of as we're getting a little bit moving on into the early game. Shortly we actually should start seeing some teching up by these players, but we're not seeing that quite yet. You can see that the Romulans are scouting here. You see that Funnystuff is also doing a good job of putting another scout out into the area so that he can watch the this middle choke point. So he's going to have a good idea if and when these Borg ships are going to move in. So right now he should have roughly the sight range to see this small fleet of 5 Borg ships moving in. Now these Quebec classes are ready for this attack, though it's doubtful that they're going to be able to completely repel it. It's a little bit up in the air. I haven't actually seen this standoff yet. However, it is going to be a lot of damage to the Klingons and the Borg if they choose to engage. If nothing else, the Klingons here, Funnystuff has the option to repair, and you can see that he's also fielding additional ships. He's got 6, and he's got a 7th almost ready. The question is, are these guys upgraded? And we can see that they are indeed not, so they're going to not quite have as much damage. Not as much damage as they potentially could be. An upgrade would actually really help this fleet right now, as they're fielding about 6 of them. So we can see that these Quebecs are able to withstand a little bit of this Borg firebomb, and the scout cube is really not able to withstand it 100%. This scout cube is actually going to want to pull back as we see it doing, and the Klingons are really in a good position to repel this attack. So Mort's going to end up potentially losing the scout cube. The Klingon really need to get into this, take this guy out. That would be much a nice hit to the Borg. Though the Borg are going to manage to pop up in here into this expansion, probably take out a couple ships, but they're in a little bit of a dangerous spot. Because now these Quebecs are they're a little bit out of position. They're giving up basically this expansion to take out a single Borg ship. And the question is, and so here we have NuclearDude engaging with his frigate refits, which are a good counter to these Quebecs, because we can see them going down really, really quickly. Nonetheless, the numbers don't really work out well. 6-4, though they have managed to drop it down to 5-4, and this one frigate barely making it out. So we see here that the combined Borg and Romulan fleet are trying to take on this Klingon fleet, and everyone is basically suffering a little bit of heavy casualties. You can see this one Mort's scout cube is trying to make its way out, trying not to lose it. So they're trying to minimize losses, and both sides are trying to effectively minimize losses, which is good play. See that this one ship is trying to get out of here, and it's taking a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the Klingons, since they have a 4-second cloak, doesn't really allow them to cloak and get out. However, somehow this Quebec has managed to evade fire and it looks like it might just make it. So running at about 30% hull, 10%. This so the scout cube manages to take that one ship out. The question is that going to be too costly for the scout cube? So it's got 4 of these guys, which will be able to take out the scout cube if it has given enough time. And you can see that these cube eggs are still not upgraded. Oh, a little bit of missed micro there. They've taken it down to probably about 60%. And they have not given chase. Unfortunately, probably a little bit of lag there hurting, or just a little bit of missed micro. Either way, nonetheless, this scout cube is going to have gotten a free kill that it really should not have. So we can see down here that Konsumat is starting to field some of his own. Has also fielded a sphere. So this is kind of an early sphere strategy. And that's actually going to be really strong against whatever is being fielded at the moment. These frigate refits are actually starting to amass a certain amount. And you can see that there's 2 here, and there's about there's another 5 here. That's a total of 7 with an 8th on the way. That's starting to give the NuclearDude a sizable fleet. So here comes the sphere, and this is actually going to chase away these detectors. These detectors trying to get away. They're going to have they're quite fast, and so being caught up with is going to be a little bit difficult for this small fleet here. So this pair of ships here is actually providing a strong middle support for the left team, and the left team, Funnystuff, is fielding 5 of these cube eggs, in addition to 2 more over here. And he's still producing another 2, so that's actually going to make his fleet sizable and deadly. That'll give him about 7 of those. And alongside the sphere and scout cube, the right-hand team is a little bit underpowered, though they are dealing in a decent number of Borg ships. They're not going to be taking out that sphere, as this sphere is so it's a little bit difficult to see if this is this looks like a bit of a regen torpedo and beam sphere, quite frankly. So we'll see if this is going to be able to withstand the amount of firepower that the Romulans and the Borg down here on the right-hand side are fielding. So there are plenty of frigate refits here, and this is going to be an interesting battle. So these scout cubes are going to be definitely lost. So the Klingons are cloaking, giving the impression that they are alone. But if you're either Mort or NuclearDude, you shouldn't fall for that. You really should know that there's stuff coming. And likewise, the Borg and the Romulans are doing the same thing. However, the Klingons with their scout ship here know what's coming. Interestingly enough, the scout cubes are going to easily be taken out by the cube eggs, and here comes the frigate. So the scout cubes are all going to go down. So it looks like the adapters are gunning for the sphere, given that they have torpedoes, and that'll be good against the sphere. Not so great against the smaller size vessels. You can see that this one Romulan ship just barely making it out alive. Here's another one that needs to go repair. A little bit of miss micro here on NuclearDude's part, as he is retreating some of his ships a little bit too fast. And things are going pretty fast here. So you got some scout cubes here trying to take out some of Funnystuff's vessels, and they're actually doing a decent job with their small ship hunting, and they're doing an excellent job of it, trying to stay away from the sphere. And you can see that interestingly enough, they have completely ignored that sphere and gone straight for all of these other vessels, which you actually have to give credit to Mort for doing that. He knows exactly what he can take on and what he cannot. And by doing so, he has effectively killed the left team's main offensive power, leaving it with just a sphere.